Lovely cushioned header. But Gerrard! Oh, you beauty! What a head, son! What a head!
Cushioned header for Tarkowski.
Unbelievable.
Welcome, guys. Welcome back to Two Reds podcast with me and Obi, here to go over Everton 2, Liverpool 2. Absolute heartbreak for everyone connected with Liverpool Football Club in this quest for the 20th title. 97th minute equaliser when there should have been 5 minutes added on. I seen when that guy went down in a heap. Who was it? Obi. Who was down?
Braithwaite and the other lad, wasn't it? The lad that
Alcaraz, was it?
Alcaraz, yeah.
And I thought that's going to be added on time, and then it was bouncing around. Absolute heartache. Sat there thinking, I can't wait to get on the poddy, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that, and I'm going to say, well done, Everton. You give it your best shot, but we're just a class above. Class shines through, and then Tarkowski jumps up out of nowhere in the Liverpool box. A centre-back in the Liverpool box to score a 97-minute screamer to absolutely break Liverpool hearts. But here we are with problems at the top of the league. 7 points clear after 23 games, is it? Or 24?
I think it's 24 now.
24 games.
Yeah.
OB, that was a roller coaster.
It was. And, I mean, overall, it was an interesting game. I thought they've definitely had a boys' bounce, haven't they? And they played to their strengths. The way he decided to go about it was he was going to rough us up. I thought we dealt with that in bit of a mixed bag. I thought Konate done well tonight. Van Dijk was off it the first 15 minutes, and then he seemed to recover quite well, back to his usual self. I thought our fullbacks were getting a bit riled by it, and I don't think they coped particularly well. Bradley's great in a lot of ways, as his energy and his perseverance, but I mean, sometimes you need experience on the pitch. You need a little bit of a calm head. And I think I sent you a message saying he needs to calm down.
I thought the opposite. I wanted him to get in even more. I wanted people to follow suit with Connor Bradley and let's get flying into these, because they were right up for it. It felt like the first half an hour we were getting bullied all over the park. I was looking for our big players that you can count on, the players that can mix it up when it's getting rough. I always remember Alexis Mac Allister for Brighton. I said, I love him. He's so technical, but he loves a scrap. Virgil van Dijk loves a scrap with anyone. There's been plenty of montages all over Twitter, or X as it's called now, about all the yellow or red cards he's got away with the elbows and all that. You know, all these players. I even said Nunes, I chuck him on. He loves a scrap. It was a night for scraps. I think I'd even put Jay Spearing on if he was on the bench, to be honest. Do you remember Kenny Dalglish used to always put on Scousers in the Merseyside derby? I thought, I can see what he means.
And Curtis Jones after the final whistle, that's exactly what it's all about. He would not have. Yeah. Did you see it? I mean, Decore went over to celebrate in front of the Liverpool fans. He ran a long way as well to do it. Jones went over, and they just basically ended up having a bit of an altercation. Both of them got sent off, and then Slot got sent off, didn't he, on the pitch afterwards as well? So I don't know what the implications of that is. Probably be a touchline ban or something.
That's the last thing we need, isn't it?
Exactly that. Exactly that.
We're straight in with 23 people watching. Guys, if you're new to the channel, do not forget to like and subscribe if you like what you hear, of course. But yeah, I mean, it got a bit crazy at the end there, didn't it, OB, with like red cards. As you say, I'm sure Slot got one. I think Jones got one. And that's the last thing we need, is like something to derail this title charge. Because it's like, you know, get to Goodison, the last one ever at Goodison Park against Everton. We wanted to get out there with something. We've got that. We've got the point. And, you know, it's time for calm heads and just get back down the tunnel. Yes, let Everton have their moment. That's like a win to them in front of the home crowd, but just get down the tunnel. I hope this doesn't derail anything with red cards, especially Slot. We need him on the sideline, don't we?
I'm not convinced it will derail us. I think it's a slightly different type of emotional game. I think if we'd have played them earlier in the season, we'd have probably been in a better position because they were a mess. Moyes has got them organised. He played players who he knew were going to do exactly what they did tonight and just rough us up, cause problems. I thought Oliver was poor, and it wasn't all for us, but I thought he was generally quite poor in his reffing of a game, and at points he was letting a lot go. They were falling to the floor and not getting touched a lot, and he was giving them free kicks. Then he'd give us a couple the wrong way. It was a real mess of a game, but it's under the lights, Goodison Park. A club of that stature, they celebrate 2-2 draws and draws like it's a victory. And they got the moment tonight, you know what I mean? They got a very, very famous 2-2 draw.
Yeah, but I concur. Michael Oliver was awful. He was throwing the yellow cards around in the first half. There was a few that he gave a yellow card where there was no contact at all. Yeah, players jumping on the ground. As you say, he just lost control, and it was taken away. Well, I don't know. Was it taken away? The game was just scrapping all over the place anyway. The most controlled the game was when we went 2-1 up, and then you thought, right, Everton know the beat here. That they know they've got to come on to us. There was gaps all over the pitch, and I thought we're going to see this out and take home the 3 points, a nice 2-1 win. But let's just talk about Tarkowski goal first. First of all, it was onside. We've seen it was onside.
Yeah.
But that
clearly.
push on Kanate, even Rio Ferdinand, who hates us, said, if I'm Kanate, I want a foul there.
Yeah, so I think if it's given a foul on the pitch, I think he wouldn't have overturned it. But if it's not been given a foul on the pitch, there's no way they're going to overturn it in that moment. For me, if I'm being totally honest, I think it's part of football. And as much as I hate saying that, Scott, the fact that they're pushing and barging, that's proper football for me. But that's me being a bit old school, and I hate saying that because I'd love to go, well, it was a clear foul. It wasn't a clear foul, was it? Let's be honest. It's kind of a...
No, it's one of them. You've seen him given because it was a push.
Yeah,
he was going for the ball and he pushed him past it. Do you know what? The ref gave one a little bit before that.
He did.
And Ali McCoy's praised him. He went, oh, well done, ref. You seen that?
Yeah. Well, Ali McCoy talks absolute crap. I think we've got that from tonight anyway. When the lad kicked the floor, he was going, the Liverpool lad clipped him. He's nowhere near him. So there's some absolute nonsense going on there. I honestly, if I'm hand on heart, I think it's the goal was fine. I think that
You're too kind, Obi.
No, I think it's just that I've got that old school mentality of if an attacker, you know what I mean, you shouldn't be soft and give defenders. It should be hard to defend, and you've got to be. I feel like he had to be a little bit stronger. He played really, really well in the game. Or if you go down more dramatically than that. He kind of half went down, and you're never going to get it for that. You're never going to get it.
In the 97th minute away from home.
Exactly. If you're going down, you've got to go down dramatically. And when people say, they're acting up and they're never as hurt as they act up, that's why they do it. Because if you sort of half stumble or half go down or don't make a big deal of it, you don't get the decision. You know what I mean? And then you don't get it reversed on VAR. So, but
I think I convinced myself it was Obi because I knew straight away that wasn't offside. So
it didn't look.
There was no lines getting drawn. I could see where Van Dijk's foot was. I thought, there's no way this is offside. So just move on from the offside quicker than they did. They spent about 2 minutes on the offside and look at this push in the box. Yeah. So because I was waiting, I was like working myself up, convincing myself there was a push in the box and there's going to be a push in the box. By the time I seen the push in the box, I thought that's a foul.
Yeah, I mean, both my boys thought it was a foul. I'm not convinced at all.
Get them on the podcast, Obi. I want to speak to them. Is Oscar in bed yet? Get them both on here now.
They've both gone to bed in the mood. So, and I'm just sitting here in the kitchen thinking, oh my goodness me, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm old school. I like the physical side of the football game. I think there was a bit of that tonight. I don't think Mike Oliver had consistency, and that's what I didn't like about it. And he also he missed it. He missed lots of things where there wasn't a foul and he was giving it, and then the opposite way round. And there was some strange decisions by both linesmen as well. I don't know if you noticed that, and they went both ways where you're thinking that's really strange. So
the linesmen kept looking at Michael Oliver, didn't they? Yeah, whatever way he was going, they were matching him, and I thought this is farcical.
Yeah,
but as you were just about to say, that strike from Tarkowski, let's take nothing away from it. That strike is worthy of obviously getting a point or even a winner. Yeah. You don't need VAR when there's a strike like that. We don't want to take anything away from the beautiful game. That was a once-in-a-lifetime strike, just like that Phil Jagielka one against Simon Mignolet.
Yeah,
that must be about 10 years ago now.
Was that another famous moment for them where they got a draw against us?
Yeah,
and that's
I think it might
literally
have been 2-2 again.
Was it 1-1? Yeah, it was one of them. It was a score draw anyway, and they've probably got a DVD out about it or something. You know what I mean? If you can get your old DVD player out and have a look on, I don't know, one of them old school sites you go on, you probably get something on a retro and dig that out. You know what I mean? And this will be the same. This will be confined to the history books as an amazing moment. And I suppose, for a club that size, it is.
And why not, Obi? The last game at Goodison, for us to have played the part, for them to be celebrating a 2-2 draw in the 97th minute. It's lit. It's what we love football for. So
yeah, it is. It is.
And it's these moments. Give them the
moment.
It's these moments for the City. Obviously, us at the top of the Premier League, they've brought in Moyes. They're climbing well away from the relegation zone now.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get on to it. I mean, Moyes has come in, and obviously they've had this fantastic bounce. When you watch the performance tonight, the effort running all over the pitch, matching Liverpool, almost bullying Liverpool at points, you think surely these grown men, professional footballers have got this in the locker and they can do it more often.
It makes you wonder why they didn't do it for Dyche. I don't know what was going on there, but these guys didn't put the same effort in for Dyche. And that says to me, as soon as things start getting hard again, unless Moyes gets a bit of a clear out on the go, he'll end up in this rut again at some point. It'll then cause a problem. And it's up to Moyes, as probably a slightly different character, to try and manage that through. But, I mean, going back to their first goal, Scott, that wasn't a foul.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
There was nothing there at all. But it was a really clever movement by Beto. He really done well when he got into the perfect position. I don't think Alisson exactly covered himself in glory.
Yeah,
I think he made it too easy, but the run was magnificent. The ball through was perfectly weighted, and it was a fantastic finish.
But surely we should have been matching that run all the way. That was a lapse in concentration, which is the last thing you need when you're going for your 20th Premier League title.
Well, I think sometimes we're too high, and there was no need to be high at that moment. You can drop a few yards, but it's almost like we want to be high, but we put ourselves into difficulty in that type of situation because there wasn't enough people back to play a high line. You know what I mean? And it was almost like it's one of them where you'd rather they just drop another 5-10 yards, and just see it out. You know what I mean? And even if the other team's got possession inside your 18-yard box, they've still got to get past the defenders. Whereas with that, one ball straight in, the guy had the whole goal to shoot at. You know what I mean? Because he was so straight on. It was always going to be a problem for Alisson. So, it was disappointing.
That was the painful part about it was because if that was going to go right for us, Obi, how would that have went? What were we trying to do there? We left this huge gap there, and I don't see what we were doing other than a complete lapse of concentration, and we absolutely screwed it all up.
Well, absolutely. And if you play it through from a free kick, I mean, playing a high line for me has always been a bit of a contentious point when it's a free kick anyway, because you're not putting any pressure on the ball. So the ball's coming in, and all it needs is one good timed run, and you're in bother. Now you're banking on either the opposition not being able to play a good ball, and the forward runners not being able to time a run. Because if they get both them things right, you're banging bother. Because at best, your defenders are facing their own goal, and then anything can happen. Do you know what I mean? It's never worked for me. I understand the high line if you're putting pressure on and you're pressing the game and you've got pace at the back that you can match it. But the high line from a free kick has always been something I'm a little bit. I don't like it, and I've noticed it more and more with VAR because teams think, well, if we concede from it, we'll probably get away with it unless they get the run time perfectly. But it still feels like too much of a chance for me.
Yeah, it was too easy a goal to concede. Like you say, arched his run off of Van Dijk in behind Konate, and he left Konate and Van Dijk both for dead. They've got to be sorting that out a lot earlier. And like you say, probably as soon as they go to take the free kick, dropping 5 straight away and setting yourself. We did neither. And it was the worst possible start. But then Mo does what Mo does. And Mac Allister, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Alexis Mac Allister, he's always up for a scrap. He's always good for an important goal when we need it in the last 18 months that he's been here. But what a header. Just like Alisson, Pickford didn't coat himself in any glory.
No, he didn't. Interestingly, I thought Mac Allister winning the interception back initially was amazing because they had that semi-break. Mac Allister read it and then got himself into the box and set it up, and then perfect delivery, great header.
Yeah,
I'm never that convinced by Pickford as a goalkeeper anyway. I'm not sure whether he could or couldn't have saved it. It looked like it was the wrong angle for him, but he doesn't move great, I think, a lot of the time. And he kind of just watched it go in, really, which was a bit strange. But what a header, what a cross. And Salah, who ended up getting man of the match, according to Ali McCoy, who didn't really do an awful lot, but he did a lot of the basics of holding the ball up at points during the game. Another goal and another assist, which is astonishing.
Definitely. It was the timing as well. The longer it went on, 1-0 to Everton, the twitchier the team had got, the fans had got. So it was like good to get on level terms.
Yeah.
So fast after the opening goal, and it seemed to settle us down a bit, and then seen it out to full time. Sisu's joining. How you doing, mate? I presume you're an Everton fan with the blue love hearts. Don't forget to like and subscribe, mate, if you're new to the channel. He said the goal disallowed, so they well deserved that draw. Yeah, taking nothing away from Everton. I'm not sure when you tuned in, but listen, they were like the old dogs of war. Remember the Everton dogs of war in the 90s? They come and they matched us all over the park. They were bullying us for large parts of the game. The work rate was incredible. The movement, the passing. David Moyes, he's an absolute miracle worker. So, yeah, it was a deserved draw. But when you're that close to winning 2-1 in the 97th minute and you're going for your 20th league title, you think, come on, let's just get this one over the line. We've got 80 people watching. Cheers for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you like all things Liverpool and Premier League, of course. Mo Salah wasn't at his best. Neither was Luis Diaz, and neither was the man of the moment, Cody Gakpo. And then we still end up 2-1 up with Salah doing what Salah does. I mean, it was a great move, but an even better finish, OB.
Yeah, absolutely. And his right foot, which I always think is a bit of a swinging foot. The ball kind of come out and he just hit it first time. I often wonder if it's luck or judgment with Salah with his bad foot. But fantastic finish. Couldn't take anything away from him. He's more about moments now, isn't he, than consistently being a problem. Yeah. Does the basics very well. Holds the ball up well. He didn't get a lot of space. They don't at Goodison because that pitch it's like a postage stamp, isn't it? But they make it that way, and you've got to go there and do the business. I thought Everton defended really, really well, particularly against Salah and Gakpo. Frustrated them a lot. Physically, really tried to overpower them too, in particular, who are known for the physicality when they're attacking. So fair play to the defenders. I thought the defenders were absolutely magnificent tonight.
I thought we were a non-entity as an attacking force up until that goal. I was writing in the Liverpool group chat, we're just creating nothing. It was like, and even a few of us said, we'll take a draw now. The next minute we're 2-1 up. But that happens when you're going for the title. You need to take a moment. You need to take a chance when it comes. And that's what we did. Not saying we deserved to be ahead, but we took it. But we were not hanging on at all. But Everton had the clearest cut chances. As Sisu said, they had that goal disallowed, which was offside, thankfully. But until that goal, we were creating nothing really. And a lot of that, as you've said, is down to the defence. And I've got to give a mention to your namesake, in fact, that Jake O'Brien at right back. I went straight on to Flash Scores and checked him out. 20 million euros from Lyon in the summer. He's been around. He's Irish.
Yeah.
He's been around in France. He's played for Cork, someone else. I was thinking, who is this guy? He's only played a handful of games as well. He's only pretty much got into the side. I think he's only played like 6 Premier League games. I thought he was absolutely incredible, along with Jared Branthwaite and Tarkowski done well. But Jake O'Brien at right back, 23 years old he is. What a find.
And I think as well, that matching us physically, because we've talked a lot about people like Gakpo and his physical attributes of him being big, strong, good in the air, quick, and almost setting someone up like that who's able to match him with all his attributes. The player able to match Salah, with all his attributes. I think it's absolutely massive. I really do.
Yeah. But yeah, Jared Branthwaite, I mean, tonight watching him, he was fantastic. I was wishing he went to Man United in the summer because he was linked with them, wasn't he?
Let's not go that far. He is a good player. He's clearly growing. I mean, he scored the goal against us, was it last season? And he's a constant thorn in our side from an attacking perspective and also defensively. I think he reads the game really well. It continues to be amazing to me how much a change of manager can change a team, whereas the players are pretty much the same. So it does
kind of show. OB, isn't it? We've seen enough watching footy in the last 40 years because we're well into our 40s. We've seen it enough. The manager is everything. When Alex Ferguson left Man United, my Liverpool mate was like, "Don't worry, that's them done." I was like, "Really? They'll still spend loads of money. They'll still hire great managers." He was like, "I'm telling you, they are done." And he couldn't have been more right. And again, Man United bringing in Amorim, thinking new manager bounce. There hasn't been a new manager bounce. So straight away, I'm thinking it looks like I've hired another dud. But Moyes and Everton, they just fit together, don't they?
They do. Maybe United should have gone for Moyes when they had the chance.
Yeah, I said that. I've been watching the overlap. Honestly, I've been watching the overlap, and they've been talking. Maybe Amorim isn't that guy, and they joked, "Oh, what could you have got Moyes back?" And they're like, ugh. And I'm thinking you could do a lot worse than bring David Moyes.
No,
back.
I agree, and I think West Ham have found that post Moyes. Life hasn't been so sweet, you know what I mean? So they've had to go through that journey as well. And that was twice they got rid of him, didn't they? Because they didn't like his style of football, and then had to bring him back. And then they got rid of him again because they didn't like his style of football, even though he won the Europa Conference League or whatever it is called. And the thing is, you don't realise what you've got till it's gone. And so, someone like him, he knows what he's doing. He's a wily old fox. I think if he had his time again at United, he'd probably do a much better job than he did the first time. But he was up against it. He was up against it from the start, and I think he's gone back into Everton. They've got a lot of players that suit what he would think is a good style of football, because they've got a lot of Dyche type players, and he's just made sure they're set up and ready to go. And I think he got his tactics right and probably got as good a result as he could get against us tonight from a performance perspective. So he's going to be a very happy man tonight. And fair play to him.
Fair play. That's another painful point, though, OB. If this game had went ahead, what was it, 6 weeks ago, he wouldn't have been the manager.
Oh, but
it'd have still been Sean Dyche.
Yeah, but they might very well have found that performance anyway because it mattered so much.
Yeah, it always does for them, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And that's the beauty of local derbies, and that's why they can derail seasons, etc., or they can change the course of what you're trying to do. And Everton have derailed us in the past. Make no bones about that by getting the odd draw here and there, and the odd victory. But it's a tough one to take tonight. However, in the context of everything that happened, we're sitting 7 points clear. So we've got to be a little bit understanding that we didn't lose that game of football tonight.
Yeah, but we've been saying it for weeks, haven't we? We've been looking at these tough away games and think, I'll take a point there, I'll take a point there. Every point or every home win we get, 3 points, we can afford to lose or draw an away game. Yeah. And basically, if we win all our home games and draw all our away games, it's very, very likely we'll win the league. So it's another one chalked off. But as you just said, that Everton love to spoil the party, especially when we're going for the league in the last 5 years. And they've got another opportunity to do it. We've still got to play them at Anfield. David Moyes' Everton again.
However, what I would say is, after what happened after that final whistle tonight, I think you're going to see a real boiled over Anfield that will probably have the opposite effect.
You should anyway, shouldn't you?
No, you should. You should. And I think it'll boil the fans up for all of the remaining games now that we've seen something like that. It's clear that the team, I mean, Curtis Jones is wanting to fight for the fans, which is absolutely fantastic. I think that the team will take what happened tonight in the spirit of what can we do to sort it out, and we'll probably see a riled up Liverpool in a lot of games. But we just need to be focused and make sure that we're doing the basics. We continue to play with that form. Talk about a couple of players as well tonight. Gravenberch didn't have his best game, and he got hooked, which was interesting. I thought Szoboszlai did what he does with a lot of running, etc. Not an awful lot of quality at points, which is a little bit concerning. But Mac Allister was our best midfielder consistently. Always looks like he's got a red face and a little bit out of puff, but he seems to love it. For the defence, the central defenders done generally quite well. Fullbacks were a bit up and down. I'm not really sure. And the strikers were probably all okay without being amazing, with the exception of Salah, who has them big golden moments. So I think the performance overall was solid without being spectacular. And normally, if you play solid away from home in the Premier League, you'll come away with at least a draw, won't you?
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, it's hard to rate any of the team because it was up against Everton's Dogs of War, and it was like, just get in there, try to get the job done, get out. There was nothing fancy about it. There's nothing to be raving about technique. All you want is the passion, the fight to match them with the desire. Yeah. 2-2, look, we both said, I think it was around 60 minutes, we'll take a point now.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, we went 2-1 up, and you've got to be grateful. We got out of Everton, the last ever Goodison Park Merseyside derby. We've got out of a point. We're 7 points clear, but the games come thick and fast, don't they, OB? Especially these bloody away games. Away to Man City, away to Villa. They're both after a home game against Wolves. So 3 points on Sunday. Is that when we play? Is it Sunday, isn't it? 2 o'clock Sunday.
I think it's
That's
Sunday,
an absolute must now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we might not have Slot on the sideline, which will be a big blow.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how that lands and what happens there. Whether there's a delay in that or whether that happens instantly, I'm not sure, Scott. But from that perspective, it's just on to the next game. He did give them all a rest to prepare them for tonight, so I don't know whether that risk paid off. Ultimately, we'll never know because we don't know whether if he'd have put a stronger team out and one of them boys got injured, it might have caused us a problem. But as a team, we've come away with a draw from a very hostile place, and I think that's something that we've got to take at the end of the day, even though it was so close to being all 3 points.
I remember 2 years ago. When Arsenal were leading the Premier League, and Mikel Arteta played William Saliba against Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League, and he got injured and he was out for the season, and their season completely fell apart. Can you imagine the outrage and the uproar and the regret and the hindsight and the online vitriol from everyone associated with Liverpool if he played Salah or Van Dijk, someone really important, Gravenberch, against Plymouth Argyle, and one of them were out for a couple of months and we lost the league. Yeah, it'd be spoken about 20 years later. So you have to believe that he's done the right call. We have to just put all our eggs in the basket of the Premier League and the Champions League, and hopefully, like you say, he's played a masterstroke there.
Yeah, I think we'll know at the end of the season whether that was the right thing to do. That's the only way of judging it. So if we come away with one of the two big trophies, it's a success, right? So we win one of them two trophies. Doesn't really matter which one we win. That's a successful season.
Yeah.
If we go and we come away with just the Carabao Cup from the position we're in now, or nothing, in theory, is that a successful season? The Carabao Cup is probably passable. But the position that we've been in this season, I think it would be a massive fall off if we didn't get over the line, particularly in the Premier League. So there's a lot riding on that decision. He's made his decision. The decision's cost us to go out of the FA Cup. But ultimately, if it means that we've got players slightly fitter in May for when we've got them horrible list of fixtures, it's the right call. And only he'll know exactly where all his players are with regards to fitness, because they don't tell us everything, and nor should they, because it can lead to other teams targeting players, and we've seen that in previous years as well.
Definitely. I mean, like I just said, 2 years ago when we were on for the quadruple, I cannot stand the quadruple talk, Obi.
Nobody's ever done it. No, nobody's ever done it, Scott, and there's a reason no one's ever done it.
For good reason.
Yeah,
absolutely. But you see, as soon as you go out of one of these competitions and you see on Twitter and on the WhatsApp groups people throwing in memes of a quad with the wheels falling off and all that, I just think no one's even talking about a quad.
No.
For Liverpool. So it's almost good to get that like kind of monkey off your back sort of thing, and just get down to trying to win the big two. And if we win the League Cup, fair enough. Of course, you'll take it. It could maybe be the treble we done in 1984, European Cup, Premier League, and the League Cup. You'll take it all day long. But if you end up just winning the League Cup like we did 2 years ago, from the position we're in now, you cannot say that's a successful season, can you?
No. What did we do? We won the Carabao Cup and we won the FA Cup that year, didn't we? Is that the year we won 2 cups?
So it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I mean,
but we were right in everything last year, weren't we? Oh no, we were in the Europa League, but then we got put out by Atalanta. But it's always the chat. Do you know what I mean? And when you see Plymouth Argyle getting drawn away to Man City, you think that's another. Yes, it's a hard game. Yes, we could go there and win. But if you think of the mental fatigue, not discounting the physical fatigue of the squad getting prepared, going toe to toe with Man City, adding in that and maybe another 2 or 3 games after that on top of the Champions League, the Premier League, it's just I'm a firm believer that this is going to pay us dividends in the end.
And wouldn't you rather have Slot on a training ground talking tactics and planning for the next Premier League game rather than worrying about what sort of team he dares to put out against Man City that will be just passable enough to be competitive without risking his players, because that would have caused him a real problem. So overall, I'm kind of happy with the decision. I do love the FA Cup. I think he probably could have had a slightly stronger bench against Plymouth, but I understand what he's done and understand why he's done it. And we don't know all of the fitness situations. There might have been a couple of players who were on the borderline of not being fit enough for today that he's then started. So we've got a point tonight. It's another point towards us getting the title. So overall, we're 7 points clear, and we're maybe a little bit sad it's not 9. However, ultimately, it's still some lead mid-February, and we've just got to match these other teams, and we'll get over the line.
It's just a tough one, isn't it? Because Arsenal, who are, they're our closest rivals at the minute, they've been knocked by the news that Kai Havertz is likely out for the whole season. Gabriel Jesus is already out. Saka's out at the minute. So it's, they're kind of hanging on. But for us to go 9 points clear tonight on the same amount of games, I think that would have been the nail in the coffin. And that's probably us got one hand on the trophy, but it wasn't to be. But it's still 7 points, Obi. Arsenal still are biggest rivals. I think they are.
Yeah,
there's no one else, is it? It's just Arsenal. So why are we still talking about them as a rival when they've pretty much got their 3 best players out for the season?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they're going to have to go with Trossard as a centre forward, I would assume, unless somebody knows something different. And it's a position he's quite good in.
Playing on the right, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So put him back to the left and that young Nwaneri come in, who's decent.
Yeah, and I think if they went that way, I think Trossard through the middle is probably the answer. I really do. I think he's the one who could probably step up. He's got the experience. He scores a lot of goals when he's played in that position previously for Brighton, etc. So I think that's where the opportunity is for them, and then just see how that pans out. I don't know. I don't feel personally like Arsenal were quite as good as they were 2 years ago. And I know I've said that to you. And even the first half of last season, where I thought they were a formidable and very interesting team to watch, very creative. I feel like they're more workmanlike now, and they're probably battling against that a little bit. But we'll see how the title race pans out. But like I say, if you'd have said to me back in mid-August, right, we're going to go into middle of February. We're through to the knockout stage of Champions League. We're 7 points clear of Arsenal, and Man City are probably too far away to do anything about it. And you're in the Carabao Cup final, but you've sacrificed the FA Cup. I would have said you're mental. We're never going to be in that position. And I think for me, that kind of shows that overall this season's been really positive. And we've just got to get this over the line now, really.
You've already played Arsenal away from home. Arsenal have still got to come to Liverpool, which is huge.
Yeah,
I'm not obviously. I think it's 3 games to go. We've got them, or 4 games to go. So it's obviously in the home straight. But if ever there's a 6-pointer, we could literally be winning the league at Anfield that day, or losing the league. And if they win it, they could be like drawing level with us on points or something. So it's absolutely huge. But the fact it's at Anfield should give us all the confidence in the world.
I think they'd have. I mean, the way it's looking now, that they're going to have to come and have a go at us, and the very fact that they're going to probably come and have a go at us at Anfield might play into us a little bit. We've picked up more points. I think they said on the telly tonight, picked up more points away from home than we have at home this season. Is that right? Does that still stand?
Don't know. I know they've dropped quite a few at home, like against us, against Fulham.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But
Brighton, we dropped at home as well.
Yeah. So they might come and have a go. I think we're a good counter-attacking team, and we see that on the counter press as well. So if teams come on to us, I think it creates more space. And then we've got people like Salah, Gakpo on a good day, Jota, Diaz, and even our old mate Nunes, who can expose them spaces and create something. So it's still looking all good. It's all rosy. Tonight wasn't bad. If we'd have lost the game, I think I'd have worried for us more. But ultimately, conceding that goal is a bit of a sucker blow, but it's nowhere near a big problem in our season, and it certainly hasn't affected what I think will be the trajectory of the league title.
Love that, OB. I'm just looking. Obviously, Arsenal are away to Leicester 12:30 on Saturday, so they play before us. They got a chance to close it to 4 points. It would have been nice if we were playing first and have the opportunity to open up a 10-point lead to really put the squeeze on them. But such is the fixtures. So we've got Wolves at home next on Sunday, 2:00. Me and you are going to be there. Maybe do a little match preview if you're up for it, OB.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Definitely a match reaction on a Sunday evening to hopefully talk about another 3 points in our quest to win the 20th league title for Liverpool to match Man United. How's that sound?
Indeed, that sounds absolutely amazing. Absolutely perfect. I'm looking forward to it. But listen,
props to Everton. All right. Yes, they call it the bitter blues. Yes, it can get a bit tense with the fan base and stuff. Some people call it the friendly derby because lots of fans sit in the home and away end with each other and, whatever. Fair play to Everton. They matched us for large parts of that game, all over the pitch, even done better than us, bullied us at points. I've always said there's nothing bitter about me as a Liverpool fan. I'd never want Everton to get relegated, OB. Are you the same? I love the Merseyside derbies. I want the city to be thriving.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I was at Villa Park a long time ago when Everton survived and that when they were 2-0 down and come back and won 3-2. I was at Villa Park watching Liverpool play that day, and there was a lot of celebrating Reds around me when Everton were losing 2-0. So it is quite difficult, and I must admit I did join in. Turns out it wasn't to be. I think it was something to do with some dodgy handsagers letting the ball in, stuff going on, and. But ultimately, I've got nothing against Everton personally. I thought they've done really well tonight. I don't actually even dislike David Moyes. Never have. I thought purely
He's a football genius.
Yeah, well, so the banner says, but yeah, it was a good display by Everton, and he got his tactics bang on. He knew how to prepare against us, make it difficult for us on that postage stamp of a pitch of theirs, and they used all of assets that they had in the team and made sure it was a difficult night for us and got something out of it, which they probably deserved. If we can admit it, they probably deserved something by the end. But that's the way it goes.
Fair play. That's the Merseyside derby for Goodison Park, the final ever one. It's all wrapped up. Everton 2, Liverpool 2. If you made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like all things Premier League, if you like all things Liverpool FC, then we're the channel for you. I think we peaked at 89 people watching OB. OB, I'll see you on the next one.
Yes, thanks,
You'll
Scott.
never walk alone, and let's get that 20th league title wrapped up sooner rather than later because me and OB are going grey. Up the Reds.
Come on, the mighty Reds. Cheers, Scott.
Cheers, bud.
Mellor, lovely cushioned header. But Gerrard! Oh, you beauty! What a headshot!